One of the most popular dishes in all Thai restaurants around the world is Thai fish cakes. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to use this cooking school to show you just how to make them. The one I'm going to make today though is slightly different in that I'm using a curry paste from the south. So I'm going to make that curry paste for you now. The thing that makes a southern curry paste quite unique is the use of peppercorns and turmeric. So it's quite a yellow curry paste. Firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the turmeric and the harder ingredients first with a little bit of salt, and the salt will break down all of those ingredients. And then we finish off with the softer ingredients last. It takes a little while, a bit of pounding, but it's really worth the effort. Let's get started. Make sure that you always place some salt into the mortar and pestle first. This will help break down all the ingredients really well. About 1 tablespoon of white peppercorns, and then we add the chili. I like to use dried chili because it has a more smoky flavour and it gives it a deeper, richer red colour. Then it's time to add the lemongrass. It's very coarse, so make sure you pound it well. It's times like this that you wish you had a blender. It does make it a bit easier, and you can use a blender at home as well. However, the mortar and pestle does have a better texture and a better flavour, so I'm going to persevere. Finish it off with the red shallots, and then you're nearly ready to go. And now that all the ingredients have become a fine paste, we add our final ingredient. Gapi, shrimp paste, that wonderful southern ingredient. Just mix that in. Next we need to mix the fish cakes together. Now you can use whole fish and then use a mortar and pestle to break up the fish, but in Thailand you can buy it already ready to go. So what we've got here is the mackerel. Now mackerel is the best fish to use for fish cakes. It's a slightly oily fish and it will give it a much better, stronger flavour. Some snake beans, really finely diced, about ½ cup. Kaffir lime leaf, finely shredded, a good pinch, maybe 1½ tablespoons. Some sugar, just a small amount. You don't want them overly sweet, 1½ teaspoons is fine. Some finely shredded long chili, just to give it some colour and some texture. Some tapioca flour, about 1 tablespoon. A little bit of egg. What I like to do is break up the egg first so that you don't crack the whole egg in. That way you can add a little bit more as needed. Some fish sauce. Touch of oyster sauce. And then the hero, the southern curry paste. About 1½ tablespoons. And then we get our hands into it and we beat it really well. This is really important because it develops the protein in the fish and it helps them bind really well. I'm just going to add a small amount more of the flour just to help it bind a little firmer. You can always add these ingredients as you need until you've got the perfect texture to form the fish cakes. While the oil's heating up, I'm going to show you a great way to add extra flavour to one of our favourite Thai sauces, sweet chilli sauce. I think in Australia we use it on everything, even chips and wedges. Anyway, some sweet chilli sauce, about 1 cup. Some extra hot fresh chilli. Finely diced shallots, pinch of salt, and some finely sliced cucumber. Mix that together and we'll put that over the dish at the very end. Oil looks right, so I'll show you how to make the fish cakes. Now there's a few different ways you could do this. In Thailand they use their hands to make them, but if you don't feel comfortable making them like that, you can do what we call a quenelle, where we use a spoon, a wet spoon, take a small amount of the mixture and then form it into a quenelle shape. You can then drop that quenelle shape straight into the wok, straight into the oil, and it will fry. In Thailand, wet your fingers, take a small amount of the fish cake mixture and just roll it into a ball and then flatten it. The mark of your fingers on there is quite traditional. In fact, if you see fish cakes with the 3 prints on there, you know they're handmade. Drop them really carefully into the hot oil. And then repeat the process. In the restaurant, we've had a few customers who haven't want their fish cakes fried in oil. And if you steam them, you wouldn't believe just how good they taste freshly steamed. We'll let those fry, and when they're golden brown, we'll take them out and place them onto some paper towel to drain. The fish cakes don't take long to cook. Just flip them over from time to time, but don't have it on too high a heat. It will just go too brown too quickly. Once they've puffed up and floated to the top, remove those onto some paper towel. Over here, I've got another plate with some finely shredded red cabbage, green cabbage, and some carrot julienne as well. Take the fish cakes and just place them down the line. Take the sauce and just nappe that over the top. Some crushed peanuts just sprinkled over the top of the fish cakes. A couple of wedges of lime just to add some fresh acidity at the end. Some of those beautifully carved cucumber leaves. Some red chilli for garnish, and a little bit of picked fresh coriander on the top. Beautiful to eat on a nice warm summer's day with a glass of white wine or maybe a nice crisp beer. My take on Tot Ban Pla, Thai fish cakes.